Hi, you know what I'm really frustrated with? Going out for help and not feeling like I really had any results. Or people telling me that they individualize programs for me, but then they fit me into this mold or this pattern that's more convenient for them. Or what about taking a treatment and feeling worse after? You know, side effects? Or what about this one? I do all the steps, all the instructions, and I feel like I'm either not getting better or I'm going back. Hi, I'm Shannon, and I'm a natural bioenergetics specialist. I work with real people with real problems, and I'm working with people all across North America. I sleuth out their wellness needs, and I devise specialized programs that are suitable with real solutions for their real problems.
Did you know that 1 in 5 people will experience a mental health problem? By age 40, 50% of the population has or has had some mental health issue. Suicide accounts for 24% of all deaths among the 15 to 24-year-old age group. These are real statistics taken from the Canadian Mental Health Association.
Some people have real stress. Some people handle it well. Some people don't. Stress comes in a variety of different packages in a variety of different ways. There's anxiety, depression. Those are two of the most obvious. Then there is an increased unwellness. It could be chronic pain, chronic illness, headaches, tense muscles, you name it. It just has no rhyme or reason for how it actually comes. It doesn't mean that you have a mental health issue or a mental health disorder. You are just not dealing with the stress in an adequate way.
Emotion, physical, and mental health. There are both positive and negative hormones that are released with emotion and stress. Under normal circumstances, this can control your response to stressful situations. For example, the fight or flight response. But in times of prolonged stress, your body becomes stuck in that negative hormone state. Body learns to start functioning in that negative environment. It stops responding appropriately. And in time, the body will have to give way somehow. Often the results are in mental health problems and/or physical illness or pain.
So past traumas, events, experiences can reflect on your body state. And if you have enough negative experiences beyond what your body can handle, the results can be devastating. Stress becomes an issue, and other symptoms or illnesses can set in. Cancer, chronic pain, chronic illness. It's amazing what can happen when the stress levels get too high for you to handle. In other words, our biography becomes our biology, or we become a product of our environment. So what does that mean? We can't do anything about it? Absolutely not. It's just the opposite.
You see, today's common treatments are usually based on statistics. And if you are outside of those statistics, sometimes modern treatments do not always work. Or they work partially, but you never really get to where you want to go.
Traditional talk therapies that work for some don't always work for others. It sometimes makes people relive traumas and negative events over and over again, thus making them go backwards. Don't get me wrong. Talk therapy has its place, and I have used talk therapy in the past, even for myself, to help me go forward, and it's given me great results. But sometimes people need something just a little bit different and a little bit more on top of all that, just to help them move forward and get past some of those traumas and disastrous events. My goal is not to have you quit traditional treatment. No, you do need checks and balances in place. But I do offer an alternative way to dig into some of those bumps, those blocks, and those past negative biographies without causing more severe trauma.
So what do I do?
I do something called natural bioenergetics. It's not a traditional talk therapy. We use a technique that uses muscle monitoring to help tap into your bioenergy and nervous systems to find out the circuit breaker that has blown and feed new information into it so that you can begin to process and later begin to heal. The beauty of this is that you don't have to talk about it to me. Oh, you can, but it's not required. Often what happens is I determine a word, a phrase through muscle monitoring that has no context to me. It means nothing to me. I give it to you, I give you some basic instructions how to think about it, and then we go from there. Sometimes it may require a physical position or something you have to do. The thing is, on some level, it's related to your body's needs, but you may not realize it, and I definitely will not realize it. We do the correction and we move on. Here are some testimonies of how natural bioenergetics has helped some of my clients. You've worked a little bit with natural bioenergetics with not just myself, but your sister and also with Dr. Scott.
Yes.
And what have you found natural bioenergetics has done for you in the past?
Well, I have a lot of respect for the healthcare system, but I also realize there's so many sciences that are discovering different things about how our emotional is connected with our physical and the physiology of our body, and transfer of energy. And, you know, a lot of scientists or people who study galaxies, it's very, very complicated, very complex, right? So I found that being open-minded enough, having a couple situations, one which you're aware of, and I was just explaining this to another person, until I dealt with things and some of the word strings, but also allowing myself to become open enough to allow energy to be transferred, thinking of these thoughts, sometimes having little, when you give me homework to do, some of it may seem like it's a little off the wall, but some of the homework that was given to me in the past, I'll just give you, it was just very, very short. Twice a day, certain times, had to have running water flowing and had to be able to look in the mirror and just, I'm trying to remember, this is like 3 years ago, touch certain points.
What it was.
And now I feel for people because I never have ever had any kind of, always had the, you know, the kind of skin that tanned and just never had reaction to sun, never had reaction to food. But I honestly didn't realize that this, I had what would be almost emotional blockage.
Okay.
Like being in denial of certain emotions I was going through and trying to hold everything in and not being able to release or, so I had emotional channels, I believe, that were blocked. And until they became open, I practiced my little sessions that were given to me and the homework, just like you have given me in the past. That truly, within 48 hours, I went from being, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but truly I'm being honest here. I went from feeling very helpless and hopeless and being told that I had a skin condition that was incurable. So I did have relief within 48 hours. I still have skin damage. I've lost some, I'm at the where you kind of have, you don't have the collagen production that, you know, it slows down with age. But I had so much damage that, you know, I wouldn't, the itching, the psychological way that I felt in a few instances, I had to take painkillers to be able to get through 20 minutes or an hour or 4 hours, and I was feeling very hopeless. And then that's when I did reach out for bioenergetics. And at that state, I thought, you know what? And it's like I was told by someone else, what have you got to lose? And I thought, I have to have. So I was very open-minded at that point, to just like, please, if something or somehow, some way can help me, then
Figure out stuff like that. We have no idea what it's doing, you know.
No. And some of the little exercise too did take me back to childhood.
Yeah.
And you think you're okay because you're healing and you've come a long ways and you've learned how to communicate, you've learned how to cope with certain emotions. You feel, and part of the testing too that came back was 73% of it was stress related.
Yeah, I think I remember something like that with you. Yeah.
Yes.
How a lot of us is figured out, just as a little bit of background information, is we do muscle monitoring, formerly called muscle testing, and we figure it all out, and then we have no idea what it is. In fact, this is a beautiful technique because Michelle doesn't have to tell me what those emotional things are. She needs to talk about it on here, but she doesn't have to. She just doesn't have to tell me about it. I figure it out. She applies it to herself, and like she said, it brought her back to her childhood, right? So in the past, you've used a lot of natural bioenergetics, either with myself or with our friend Cheryl. Is there anything you'd like to comment about how natural bioenergetics has worked for you in the past?
Oh man, it's done so many things for me, but if I was to speak in sort of overarching theme, I think it would be that I've experienced freedom. So like in a lot of ways where my body is healthier than it's been, I don't have any health problems, and if I do, I know that I can book an appointment, and there's some real solutions where I know that wellness is going to be the focus, right?
That's good. Yeah.
And same with like mental and emotional stuff, like that I'm maybe going through. It's the same thing. There's solutions, and sort of freedom and peace always has been a result of your work with me as well as Cheryl's.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. As I said, I've been working with clients all over North America. With my experience and my tools that I have collected over the years, I can now roll this into one little package that'll help you get from point A to point B. I call it the Refuse program. That's a hyphenated refuse. Refuse means to refuse to do something. In other words, let's refuse to give up. RE, or the re part, means do again. And fuse can also mean to merge. So let's merge new ideas and information into an improved process. Let's just refuse ourselves. Fuse can also mean something that's used to light up something like a rocket. I don't want to use the word bomb, but you know what I mean. So let's set a fuse or refuse yourself to light up into improved new life and new light. In the Refuse package, I'll offer pre-recorded sessions. These are meant to help get the first few layers off of you. People are like onions, like Shrek says, and we have layers. So we're just trying to peel off some of those first layers, and these will consist of topics that are similar to all people. When people categorize you, well, this is the first part. We're not going to try to categorize you, but it's just trying to loosen up some of that stuff that is common to most people and get us ready for the next part of the package. Then I'm going to have a stress pack. The stress pack is actually there to give you better coping mechanisms and help you move on. I'm going to move into affirmations, and affirmations are actually going to come with a stress package. Now, affirmations, I don't want you to think it's something really wonky. It's not. Affirmations actually are a great way to get the proper positive self-talk into your brain. And then we're gonna have empowerment group sessions. Now, the empowerment group sessions may not be done at the same time as your package. Not to worry, but you will automatically be allowed to enter them. Empowerment group sessions are gonna be great. I do lots of group sessions with people, and the people just crave to come back for more. This year's topic is going to be on empowerment, and I really invite you to take part in them. You can meet people afterwards, and maybe they can give you some new ideas on how to deal with it. Then I'm going to have an SMS package. That's so you can have personalized support with me and be able to get a hold of me. And of course, we're going to have the most important part of it. It's the live virtual sessions throughout the package. These live virtual sessions will actually dig into the more deeper issues for you. That is where you're going to get the real personalization, the real thing that is specific to you. And that's where we are going to try and delve into and build a plan for you to help you get back on track. These can be virtual online, or if you live locally to my area, you are welcome to come see me in my office. People who have gone through this process with me have found real solutions. And that's my goal for everyone. I would like to say it's 100% cure, but I can't. Everyone's biography is different, but I can say that you should be able to find the real results to get back on track. If you're willing to trust me, I'll work with you to get you back on the right path, and I will be dedicated to help you get well. Some people turn right around with this program immediately. Some people have the best results right off the bat. They have an immediate turnaround. They start to see immediate turnarounds right from the very first day. Others may process a little more slowly, and that's okay. And they may not even receive results till several weeks or months after the program. Still, others may need continual help after, and there is an option for that. Not to worry. Don't worry, everyone takes a different path, and I'm here to guide you through it. Here's an example of one of my clients' journeys. I worked with him a few years ago. I did the natural bioenergetics with him, and you know what? He kept insisting on coming back every week. He said, "You're keeping me from going down. I have to hang on to you." I was like a security blanket for him. After a while, it started testing that he needed to take a break from me. I kept insisting he had to back off. He had to give it a few months. No. You're keeping me at a level and I'm feeling better. I need to come back to you. Okay. After a few more weeks went by, I said, I need to insist that you need to take a break. It's testing like you need a 3-month break. Okay, he decided to take me up on it. It was getting to be spring and he wanted to be out doing other things. So he took the 3-month break, and then all of a sudden he had a turnaround 3 months later. He thought it was because he did this procedure that the doctor asked him to do. But the doctor said, no, it shouldn't have made you feel that way. He turned around and he's never looked back. He's never had to come back. He's doing great. Now, this is actually true for a few people. They may have to take a break. It muscle monitors that they need to take a break. Their body needs to process it. It needs to get into the state where it can actually heal. But we've fed so much information into it that now it's time for it to process and get to work on what it needs to do. Sometimes this can take weeks. Sometimes it could take months. Sometimes it could take a year. But all of a sudden, like magic, they turn around. It's not magic. The body's actually done a lot of work in that time period. But all of a sudden, they turn around and they don't realize it was the natural bioenergetics that did it. What I am saying is you can't expect instant results, but you can get your body on the right track so it's starting to work towards those results. And that's what I'm here for. So I ask you to read through this information and consider it closely. Payment options are available, and I'm always available for questions before you choose to take the package. I welcome that. I'm asking you to take the plunge and get your life back on track. You might be amazed at what I can do and some of the solutions I can find for you. So I hope to see you soon.